Hello race fans and welcome to the jewel of the Formula 1 calendar, the Monaco Grand Prix of 2023. We're here in the Principality for the most important session of the weekend, qualifying. What can our drivers do around these tight and twisty streets? But let's go to your practice report for the Monaco Grand Prix, and Mick Schumacher surprised us all, topping the session on the medium compound. So he's looking to harness some of that Schumacher energy by Watanabe down in 11th, who has been struggling around Monaco over these last few seasons. However, he did not participate in any more practice sessions as Toyota noticed some reliability issues, and that has been a huge problem for the team, especially on Watanabe's side of the garage, with 2 DNFs in 3 races, confirming that it was a gearbox problem. However, even more concerning, they were unable to identify why the fault occurred, and as a result, the Toyotas are falling down the championship. You can see Watanabe's only result, while it is a win, he is still way down the order. Toyota brings up an MGU-K upgrade to their car, and however, for the weekend it'll be dry running, but they make no improvements, as well as no other teams. Through the final turn we go. Little understeer through that corner. Keita Watanabe barrels down towards the line. What's the time going to be? And it's 3rd overall at the moment. Here we go for a second flying lap. He's bit off to a slow start in the first sector, and Carlos Sainz in a Ferrari completely impeding the Toyota, and all that dirty air is not going to do well for Watanabe through this tight, twisty second sector. Towards the Nouvelle chicane we go, and he goes, oh, and there goes Watanabe, pirouetting again. Remember what he did last year in the race, and he manages to control it again, putting on quite an impressive show. Down the straight we go. Stroll gets impeded by Watanabe, crosses the line. Mick Schumacher up into the P7, but Watanabe out in Q1. So we know that the Japanese driver struggles around this circuit. However, he gets out-qualified by a Williams in arguably what Watanabe is driving is the 4th fastest car. The man who won in Imola will find himself way down the order and unfortunately having a lot on his plate if he wants to get any points from this weekend. We're in the Principality. This is the Monaco Grand Prix. This is the jewel of the calendar, the race that everyone adores, that is steeped in history, and our drivers will be taken to these famous streets once again to try and achieve, arguably, what is one of Formula One's most prestigious wins. We're here at the Circuit de Monaco. The track has remained virtually unchanged since its inception on the calendar, all the way back in 1929. The twisty streets of Monaco. We go up the hill, through the famous hairpin and the tunnel, down towards Tabac, and past the harbor front, where we go to the famous swimming pool section where the drivers have to be on their A game. And here we are onto the starting grid for the Monaco Grand Prix, and unfortunately for Toyota's Keita Watanabe, he's down the order in P17, but he does get promoted up a place with grid penalties throughout the grid, and one of them being from his teammates. So what are they going to be able to do in this session? And let's go to the starting grid for the Monaco Grand Prix. Valtteri Bottas on our front row with Max Verstappen. These two side by side once again in the front, with Hamilton 3rd, Norris 4th, Perez 5th, and Daniel Ricciardo in P6. Then we have Charles Leclerc and Carlos Sainz 7th and 8th. Then Fernando Alonso and Esteban Ocon completing the top 10. Pierre Gasly 11th, Sebastian Vettel 12th, Russell promoted to 13th, and Lance Stroll in 14th, Latifi 15th, and Mick Schumacher down in 16th with an engine penalty alongside his teammate Keita Watanabe after a poor qualifying. Tsunoda 18th, Zhou and Mazepin 19th and 20th, with Giovinazzi on a grid penalty in 21st, and Marino Sato completing our grid. This is it. Let's go see what our drivers can do on this track. 5 red lights are ready to go racing once again in the Principality. What can our drivers do? Who's going to get the better start? It's lights out, and off they go. And Valtteri Bottas gets a good start, cuts off Max Verstappen, and Watanabe's off to a flying start. Side by side with his teammates, the 3-way blockade, and Watanabe goes down the inside, cuts to the curb, and goes into the side of Esteban Ocon, and he makes up 7 positions off the starting lap. That is a supreme start. Controversial though. He did cut the corner. However, there was really nowhere for him to go with the overspeed he carried. The FIA will be looking into that to see whether or not he's getting another penalty. But he's not done making moves down the inside of Gasly and Fernando Alonso, heading down through Massenet and through Mirabeau and down into the hotel hairpin. And there's a huge stop. Fernando Alonso is parked on the road, and Nicholas Latifi creates a blockade himself. But Watanabe, that has to be the most opening positions won in the first lap. Let's look at the race start. You can see, again, similar to his start in Portimao. no wheel spin off the line, but gets blocked by the Aston Martin of Lance Stroll, and there's a 3-wide moment there. But Watanabe, so close, had to take evasive action, so maybe the FIA will allow it to go on safety reasons. He might have to give the places back, but so far, no word from the FIA and the steward's office. A bit of controversy there, for sure, and Watanabe, audacious moves into the hairpin, and, I mean, there's been 8 overtakes this race, but they're all from one driver. And you can see, this is the aftermath. You can see Nicholas Latifi and Alonso just goes right into the front wing of Nicholas Latifi. Fernando Alonso just completely out of position. We can see from his dash cam, gets squeezed out through Mirabeau by Watanabe. And I think he wants to go down for a dive on the inside as well, but Watanabe completely blocks him off.
Okay, he pushed me off the track. I think you have to leave a space. All the time you have to leave a space.
Yeah. And you can see there's just nowhere for the Alpine driver to go as he's stuck in on the hairpin. And you can see from Nicholas Latifi going side by side with Sebastian Vettel. And you can see just all the chaos in the season. Fernando Alonso's backed up. I don't know why Latifi's reversing, but he reverses right into the front wing of Mick Schumacher. So the German driver is going to be severely upset with the front wing damage he's ensued there. And that is definitely, especially considering that the whole incident, the hairpin, was caused by his teammate. And Alonso, yeah, just a huge impact. And we've noticed it in Imola. But that Williams' front wing almost seems to be made out of titanium of how much damage he's incurred. And speaking of front wing damage, you can see just how that rear wheel of the Williams is grinding away at that Toyota front wing. And Schumacher probably will have to take an unscheduled pit stop to repair the damage. Watanabe's already up into the top 10, but Carlos Sainz going to see if he can make the move on the softer compound. Watanabe, though, outdrags him into Sandevot and holds position. And our soft tire runners are pitting. Watanabe, bound to make the most progress. He started on the medium tire, so that way he can hold track position, and track position is everything around Monaco. So can Watanabe be in for a good position? Into the Rascats we go, and quite a deep dive from Watanabe. He's always struggled in that corner in the practice session, but all the drivers in front of him have pit, and Watanabe inherits the lead of the Monaco Grand Prix, the first time he's going to be leading this prestigious race. But can he create the distance from those pitting so that he can make himself into a pit window where he can hold some points?
It looks like we might have an issue. Hang in there, we're attempting to manage it.
Through the Nouvelle Chicane, and that is a deeply disturbing message from the Toyota pit crew. Is Watanabe bound for another failure? Remember, he only finished 1 race this season out of 3, and this is having back-to-back DNS will surely be a terrible way to start the season as he goes through the final 2 corners of lap 18, heading up to lap 19, down to start finish straight he goes. He's got quite a gap to Pierre Gasly, who's being tailed by Verstappen, and that's smoke! That's smoke from the back of the Toyota, and Keito Watanabe is going to have to fail another failure in this season. This has been a nightmare of a season for Keito Watanabe. 2023 is going to be a year that he wants to desperately forget, as in 4 races, he has failed to finish 3 of the events as he trundles up the hill. He has nowhere to park the car, and there's a train forming. You can see the AlphaTauri of Pierre Gasly in a smoke screen. Now everyone's going to be trying to get by him through Casino, and he's going to be parking up on the side in Mirabeau, similar to where Nico Rosberg ended up. Let's see the replay. See Gasly up the hill, and all that smoke from the Toyota just completely obscures his view. It's very good reflexes from the French driver to be able to stop without rear-ending the Toyota. And Sergio Perez, just look at that smoke, even all the way back here, and he gets completely impeded by the Toyota. He's not going to be happy with that at all. But one man who's not going to be happy at all is this man, Keito Watanabe. He's going to be wanting answers, but the team unfortunately don't seem to have any. But Valtteri Bottas takes another back-to-back Monaco Grand Prix win of his career. Lewis Hamilton second. The 2 Mercedes seem to be locked in a title battle, but with that fastest lap point on Bottas' part, he's going to be very happy. Max Verstappen, Pete on the last spot on the podium, and Mick Schumacher in 9th. So not a bad recovery drive for the German to get some points. However, the 2 fall behind the McLaren, and Keito Watanabe has only scored once this season as his car has continuously failed him. This TF112 seems to be a terrible in the reliability front, at least on one side of the garage. McLaren pip Toyota in the constructors, and they have just been falling back all this time. At the Mercedes 1-2, the two silver arrows flying high as we head to Baku, Azerbaijan. Toyota has gone well there in recent years, along with Watanabe, who will be hoping for a good result to turn this terrible season around.